Could bring millions in tax revenue to Southeast Kansas communities, but it could also bring some issues. And we shine a spotlight on the child advocacy work of Joplin's Rafa International in tonight's Doing Good segment. KOAM News at 10 is next.
The city of Mulberry just cleared the way for a $500 million solar project. And not everyone's celebrating. I'm Blake Gully. I'll have that story and what happens next.
Plus, Joplin leaders learn what a month of poverty feels like through a simulation. And Joplin's third Thursday season comes to a close for another year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A $500 million solar project is stirring up some debate in Crawford County. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Not everyone is on board with a plan to build a new solar farm near the intersection of highways 69 and 47. Some residents who live near the project say it could change the character of their neighborhood and question whether the benefits are worth it. KOAM's Blake Gully shares their concerns.
I think that our county is not prepared for what is ahead.
Crawford County Commissioners will soon consider the annexation of more than 1,600 acres into Mulberry, Kansas. Property owners like Rick Elnicki and Steve Coupland already have plans for a $500 million solar project from Shasta Power, one of the largest energy investments ever proposed in this area.
This particular farm is going to be surrounded by it. And what is that going to do when I look out my window and I want to see, you know, the deer grazing and the eagles landing, the geese that sleep out here in the wintertime, you know? I mean, it's full of wildlife. They build this, where does that wildlife go?
Danny Childers is one of several residents who say the project could change the landscape they've called home for generations, replacing open farmland and a wildlife habitat with rows of solar panels. City Hall may be where the decision was made, but the impact stretches far beyond Mulberry, with the land that once produced coal now scheduled to create clean energy, creating jobs and opportunities for this region.
The economic benefit, I don't think we've ever had one like this. You know, and this is not prime farm ground. This is mined land that we run cattle on that was mined and the coal's gone out of it, and we can't really raise good crops on almost all the area that's being in this 1,600 acres.
Supporters say the project could bring jobs and tax revenue to Mulberry and local school districts. But opponents like Childers say there's been little to no clear communication about what comes next.
There is no transparency. There is no public outcry. There's nothing that's being put out to us that says, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Reporting in Crawford County, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
The Crawford County Commission will make the final decision on whether to approve that land annexation. If passed, construction on the solar project could begin next year, bringing jobs and new tax revenue to both Mulberry and the county. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Well, we do have another potential for strong to even severe storms. That's going to be tomorrow night and into Saturday as well, early Saturday morning. Now, most of these storms are going to start to push in by about midnight. Friday night into Saturday, these storms are not really our big concern, but later in the night, we're going to have our second wind that's going to be happening early Saturday that could bring, again, potential for strong to severe storms. Until then, though, we've got another mild night. Temperatures dropping down into the mid-60s. Clouds are increasing, and we also have some gusty winds out there, with winds gusting up to 25, even pushing up to 30 miles per hour tonight and through Friday. Other than the rain chances coming up Friday night into Saturday, we finally get to see some cooler temperatures following that cold front starting this weekend. I'll have those details coming up.
See you soon. One Joplin, a nonprofit organization, led a poverty simulation today at the Joplin Public Library. They invited Joplin council members, educators, healthcare workers, and others to take in a month's worth of experience in one day. The purpose is to put community members in the shoes of someone dealing with poverty, simulating weekly life in low resources.
Really just taking time to experience it firsthand and trying your own hand at working your way through it.
This year, two special members in the community, Joplin's mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, both participated in that simulation. Today, Freeman Health System held a ceremony celebrating the ongoing construction of a $14 million oncology services expansion in Pittsburgh. The existing 4,500 square foot building will receive a new 12,000 square foot addition, greatly expanding the oncology department, offering more chemotherapy chairs and radiation services. Specialists say this growth is necessary for patients, many of whom were having to go to Joplin or farther for treatment.
We've laid a lot of work and time and resources into expanding oncology here. This process has taken years to develop, working with the architects and working with the financing and trying to make this happen. And this expanding this clinic to almost 3 times what it currently is.
That expansion is anticipated to be completed and ready by late 2026. The final third Thursday of the season was held in downtown Joplin this evening. Of course, with it being October, the theme for this third Thursday was Harvest Festival. All those who attended were encouraged to dress up in costumes. Some, even of the four-legged variety, did. More than 160 vendors and some even getting in on the Halloween theme.
The attractions coming out here and with their costumes and stuff like that, because I like Halloween and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty special, honestly. Not a lot of places do stuff like this. We're not able to do this, every third Thursday of every month, and so I think it's pretty special.
Third Thursday is finished, but as the holiday season gets into full swing, you can go to our website, KUAM News Now/events, to learn about upcoming festivities in our area. An international organization finds fertile ground for child advocacy right here in the 4 states. Coming up on tonight's edition of Doing Good, a look at the work of Rafa International in Joplin. Plus, some future farmers get a hands-on lesson in raising livestock today in Joplin. In this week's Doing Good report, we're putting the focus on a local organization working to break the cycle of child trafficking. Rafa International started more than 20 years ago after founder Stephanie Freed visited Southeast Asia. As KUAM's Ty Park shows us, the organization continues that mission today in Jasper County.
So the work that we do here, it really does breaks the generational cycle of trauma and abuse by shining a light on the trauma that has happened, giving the person experiencing this counseling and this help the opportunity to walk through what they've experienced and understand what's happened to them and separate what's happened to them from who they are.
Rafa International is committed to combating and ending the trafficking and sexual abuse of children, one child, one community at a time.
But we also provide prevention services where we go into the most bracingly poor and vulnerable communities, and we provide education. We help them with whatever kind of vulnerabilities they may struggle with, whether it be housing or food insecurity, or if they are just unaware of their own trauma that they've experienced. And so we provide those prevention care services so that these children never enter into trafficking to begin with.
It's not only a battle to prevent, but also a journey of recovery for victims. That's why the organization also offers various forms of scientifically supported therapy options.
To help each child or each person, because we see all ages, each person walking through our doors is able to find some relief and some help and some support as they walk through whatever traumas they've experienced.
Rafa also provides training programs for professionals who work with trafficking cases.
And we work with other therapists in the area as well. I mean, there's a plethora of training that's available to people, whether it be law enforcement training, whether it be trainings for those who are working in the probation and parole office.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KUAM News.
Rafa International recently moved into the building on 20th Street to help expand its mental and behavioral services. Students at St. Mary's Elementary in Joplin celebrated the end of their Race Craze fundraising event with this foam party. Over the past 3 weeks, the school has raised more than $20,000 to install new sunshades on their playground and completed more than 650 acts of kindness along the way. From cleaning up local parks to volunteering at shelters, students worked hard to give back to their community. The event brought together students, families, and the church in a powerful way, showing how teamwork, generosity, and a little fun can make a big difference.
Incredible. I'm a new principal here, and so this fundraising event just really tied together everything our students are about, our families are about, our school is about, our church is about. So it's just a great community event. And to see everybody come together for a common cause to benefit these students and the teachers here, just a little bit overwhelming. It's amazing how quickly we raise the money.
Today's foam-filled celebration is proof that kindness really does pay off. A little bit later, international students make their mark on a Halloween tradition.
Over at PSU, it's a celebration of pumpkin carving and culture. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll give you an inside look coming up.
And we have a threat for severe weather this weekend. I'll have those details right after this.
When I say go, click on the first link to download the 500 gigabyte test file. Go! Okay, now when I say go, click on the second link in your email to upload the file. Go! I guess it really does eclipse all other internet.
Release the Crawcad. Monstrous multi-gig speeds for a low, no-nonsense price.
Well, we've got a potential for seeing some storms this weekend. Now we can go ahead and take a look outside Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. So far tonight, it is a pretty mild night. Temperatures are dropping back down into the mid 60s, so a little bit warmer than it was this morning. We only hit about 56, which is still about 10 degrees above average, and you can see our high 10 degrees above average and only 6 degrees off from our record temperature. I mean, it's been warm pretty consistently. Finally, though, we get to see a cold front. Now you can see how storms are already firing up along that cold front in western parts of Kansas. That's going to be making an appearance into our area Friday night through Saturday morning. To start, most of these storms are really holding off until after 10 p.m. We get these isolated shower chances, but after midnight, that's when we're going to see some potential for strong storms in the area, mostly for us closer to early morning, but you can see where that spikes up to the heavy widespread rain, and then we kind of teeter between scattered showers and that it's going to rain. Now by 10 a.m. we could see some pretty strong storms in the area on Saturday. Tomorrow, though, other than the evening thunderstorms, we've got a pretty nice day. A little windy, winds gusting 25 to 35 miles per hour, and another warm day, temperatures in the mid 80s. Now, the mid 80s, a little humidity, and those winds all signify a front that's going to be making an appearance. For starters, Friday night, we're looking at a marginal risk. Most of these storms, again, hold off until after midnight. But we could, expect to see maybe 1 or 2 isolated storms moving in ahead of the line. By Saturday, though, is where we're going to see our threat for strong storms. So we've got a slight risk mostly along and south of I-44, of the I-44 corridor. The main threat is actually going to be a little bit further out east, but we obviously can't rule out strong storms in our area either. 3 a.m. to 1 p.m. is our window for seeing these storms really fire up. Main threats, of course, wind and hail, but you can't rule out all modes of severe weather possible with any of these storms. Now, as we head into Friday evening, could get a couple of isolated showers earlier in the afternoon, but by 8, a couple of these storms start to push in. Our main threat, though, is a little bit later in the evening. So here we got some thunderstorms, maybe get some strong ones, maybe some wind gusts, but here come our big storms that are going to be moving in from Oklahoma along that line. So these storms continue to fire up, again, mainly staying along and south of I-44, but that means northeastern Oklahoma, we get northwestern Arkansas, southwestern Missouri. This entire area could see some strong storms, but this is early Saturday morning, so most of these, again, holding off till about 3 a.m. By 9, get these storms moving into the Veneta area, maybe just south of Miami, Bentonville, Cassville. Then they finally push off by about 10:30, 11 a.m. and then we're left with still some scattered rain shower chances across the 4 states. Now, luckily for us, all of this clears out by about 4 to 5 p.m. on Saturday, which means we could have a nice cool Saturday night following that cold front. Sunday, upper 60s to maybe only 70 degrees. It's going to feel phenomenal. We get another warmish day on Monday. dry front, and then another cold air mass moves in, reinforce that cold air, and we're back to the low 70s for the week.
I'm looking forward to some crisp, cool fall air for a change.
So am I.
Thanks. Ace Frehley, the original lead guitarist and founding member of the rock band Kiss, died today. The band was extremely popular, especially in the mid-1970s, selling tens of millions of albums and licensing its iconic look to sell a lot of products. The group Kiss inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2014. Frehley, who suffered a recent fall, died peacefully surrounded by family in New Jersey. Ace Frehley was 74 years old. Still have Missouri Southern football Lions back at home this week. We're going to preview their matchup against Nebraska Kearney. And week 8 of high school football is underway in Oklahoma. We're going to have the highlights from a trio of games in the Sooner State coming up.
Week 8 of Oklahoma football is underway with action across the Sooner State tonight, including the Quapaw Wildcats hosting their annual Pink Game against Pawnee. Quapaw has won 3 of the last 4 games to get to 500 on the season. Opening drive in this one, Bears in the red zone. Adam Pratt with the quarterback keeper. He takes it in for the touchdown. Pawnee up 8-0 after the 2-point conversion. Following a 4th down stop defensively, the Bears back on offense, and it's Pratt again calling his own number on the design run, taking it to the house for his second score, and it's 16-0 Bears. Later in the first quarter, Pawnee back in the red zone. Aiden Marquez takes the direct snap. He has room to run to the outside, waltzing in for 6. This Bears offense is rolling, but the Wildcats are going down without a fight. Following a big run from Tommy Matthews, Jace Gregory gives it to Wyatt Daniels, who finds Pater to put Quapaw on the scoreboard. Ensuing drive for the Wildcats. Opening play of the drive. Gregory connects with a wide-open Hayden Radford, and the senior puts on the afterburners, racing in for the house call, but Pawnee picks up the road win over Quapaw, 72-23 the final. It's a rivalry renewed between the Miami War Dogs and Grove Ridge Runners. Grove attacking on his first drive. Colby Watson rolls to his left, fires it downfield to an open Isaac Sheffield, who waltzes into the end zone for the game's first points. Ridge Runners go for 2 and get it to take an 8-0 lead. But on Miami's first play, Donick Garfield breaks free, down into Ridge Runner territory. Bryson Richardson makes a touchdown-saving tackle, but the War Dogs have it at 1st and 10 at the 5-yard line. Miami gets it down to the 1-yard line here, but it's 4th down for the War Dogs. Blaze Riley, he'll receive the snap and call his own number, taking himself and breaking the plane for the score. Grove still leads 8-6 after the failed conversion. Grove's next possession, Watson drops back, throws it downfield, down the middle to wide open Richardson. Look at that speed. He outruns the defense, takes it in for the score. Ridge Runners lead 18-6. Grove would dominate the rest of the way, taking down the War Dogs 36-13. Fairland, winners of 3 in a row, back at home to host Hominy. Hominy's opening possession, it's Blaine Hipp rolling out to his right, looking for a receiver and finding Isaiah Hughes, who scores, but not so fast. A penalty will wipe that touchdown away. And Fairland would get the stop on defense following the penalty. Now in offense, Carson Schurtz finds a wide open Wynn Amos, and his tight end is coming right at you for a 32-yard gain. A few plays later, Schurtz calls his own number, sheds a tackle, flies in for an 8-yard touchdown run. Owls lead 6-0 after a missed extra point. Hominy would respond, though, coming back down the field early in the second quarter. Hipp takes it on a designed QB run, goes up the gut and dives in for the score, tying this one at 6. And the Bucks would go for 2. Hipp fakes a handoff, finds an open Aiden Saunders for the conversion. Hominy takes the lead 8-6. Now it's Fairland's turn to respond and answer. Schurtz fumbles a snap, but he's able to corral it, having to roll out and scramble, but keeps his eyes downfield, throwing on the run to Amos for a 23-yard touchdown to regain the lead. But it's Hominy who comes from behind to take down Fairland, 36-20, the final. Got a little taste of what we're going to have this week. We got our game of the week tomorrow between Carthage and Webb City, so we got an exciting week ahead.
Yeah, get a little appetizer out of Oklahoma and then the main course for a lot of teams tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Indigo Sky Casino is treating all October with cash prizes.
With Halloween just around the corner now, Pittsburgh State International students are getting a fun introduction to the American tradition of pumpkin carving. KOIM's Kenny Foreman takes us to Gorilla Village for this year's Pit Pals Fiesta.
With spooky season right around the corner, PSU International students get a taste of a popular American tradition, pumpkin carving.
It's their first time, so it's definitely an experience. It's gross, it's fun, it's a mess to say the least, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely glad we're out doing it today.
The event featured plenty of food and snacks, allowing Pit Pals, American students who are paired with international students, to connect with each other even more.
Asking lots of questions to each other has been really cool. I think one of the biggest things is just like figuring out how to word different phrases. So if there's something I'm used to saying a lot, trying to figure out, and it's like unusual, trying to figure out a way to explain it so that she can use it as well, and vice versa, her teaching me different phrases.
The program is designed so that events such as this one can help foster meaningful connections that can last even beyond the campus.
We hung out so much, and she invited me to her family, and I really liked it because I really like her family, and they're really welcoming for me.
It helps when many of the domestic students are eager to make the international students feel right at home.
Doesn't matter their background, doesn't matter their race, doesn't matter their culture. I connect with so many people on so many different levels just because I'm such a people person and I want to be friends with as many people as I can.
In Pittsburgh, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The Pit Pals program is open to all PSU students and pairs one domestic student with an international student for an entire semester. Those of us who've grown up with pumpkin carving might not fully appreciate how kind of odd that might seem to someone who's never seen it before, but it's a nice lesson, and basically it's a way to get people together, I think.
Well, I have to paint pumpkins. I'm not good at carving them.
That's nice. And also, when you do that, they don't rot nearly as fast.
That's fair.
It was kind of warm weather out there for pumpkin carving.
Yes, it was. And we got a couple more warm days, but we have a cold front coming Friday night into Saturday that could bring some strong to even severe storms, specifically after midnight Friday until about noon on Saturday. We've got a window, pretty wide window, for seeing some low-grade severe storms.
We don't want them for the football games Friday or for that parade in Carthage on Saturday. Final sports notes.
You mentioned it. You mentioned we got our appetizer of football in Oklahoma, but tomorrow it's week 8 in Missouri, week 7 in Kansas, then of course press box. So it's going to be a busy day for us.
We will get our fill for sure. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.